9. Underwater Station. The underwater Wildschutz Lake Station is a unique project started by Volker Bassen, a diver from East Germany. He built it in 2017 out of recycled materials like an old bus and a crane. The station has 2 levels, one for living and working and another for diving equipment. It can host up to 4 people at a time. The station is powered with solar panels and batteries and comes with its own communication system. Wildschutz is used for research and education purposes, as well as recreational dives. Volker Bassen hopes that his station will inspire more people to explore the underwater world, to learn more about its never-ending mysteries and beauty. The lake is about 131 feet deep and has many attractions for curious divers, such as sunken cars, boats, and planes. Some of them have been intentionally placed by Volker Bassen to create artificial reefs and habitats for fish and other aquatic life. The station is found in the Bavarian Forest National Park, one of the 16 national parks in Germany that protect the natural heritage of the country. The park covers 94 square miles and features diverse landscapes like mountains, forests, meadows, and rivers. 8. The 9-pound goldfish of Oak Grove Lake. Oak Grove Lake is a small body of water east of Greenville, South Carolina. It's a popular site for fishing, boating, and picnicking. But it also has a surprising resident living inside it, a 9-pound, 4-kilogram goldfish. The goldfish was first discovered on November 16, 2020 by Scott Robinson, a lake specialist hired by the Greenville County Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. He was conducting electrofishing, a method of measuring the health of a fish population by sending electric currents through the water. As he was pulling out bass and catfish from his net, he noticed something orange among them. It was a huge goldfish about 15 inches long. He took a photo of it before releasing it back into the lake. The photo quickly went viral on social media, with many people wondering how such a big goldfish ended up in Oak Grove Lake. Some believed it was someone's pet that was dumped when it grew too big for its tank. Others suggested it was an invasive species that could harm the native fish. But Ty Hook, Director of Greenways and Natural and Historic Resources for the county department, claimed the goldfish was not a threat to the lake's ecosystem. He said goldfish are actually native to Asia and can grow very large in natural waters. He also said it seemed healthy and happy in the environment. The 9-pound goldfish of Oak Grove Lake is a rare and remarkable sight. It shows how nature can adapt and thrive even in the most unexpected places. 7. Siphonophores, the longest animals on Earth. Try to imagine a creature that looks like a string of lights swimming around and glowing in the dark depths of the ocean. It may seem like a fairy tale, but a creature like this exists. It's called a siphonophore, and it's one of the most fascinating animals on Earth. A siphonophore is not a single animal, but a colony of tiny animals called zooids. Each zooid has a specific function: floating, capturing prey, feeding, or reproducing. They're all genetically identical clones that form by budding off each other. Together, they work as one unique organism. They have stinging cells called nematocysts that they use to catch fish and other prey. Some siphonophores also have bioluminescent cells that create light to attract and confuse predators. The creatures are found in every ocean, from shallow waters to deep seas. They come in different shapes and sizes. The longest known siphonophore species is Apolemia uvaria, which can grow up to 150 feet long. That's longer than a blue whale. Siphonophores are mysterious creatures that scientists are trying to understand better. They're incredible examples of how nature can create complex and beautiful life forms out of simple building blocks. 6. A 7-room, fully furnished vacation house. It was supposed to be a dream come true. A 7-room, fully furnished vacation home on Madeline Island in Lake Superior. The owners bought the house for a bargain and hired a trucking company to transport it across the frozen lake during March 2023. But something went wrong. The truck broke through the ice and dragged the house down with it, leaving a gaping hole and a trail of debris. The driver escaped, but the house was lost forever in the lake. The incident made headlines across the country and sparked a debate about the safety of moving houses on ice roads. Some blamed the trucking company for negligence and recklessness, while others defended their right to use a cost-effective method of transportation. The owners were devastated by their loss and filed a lawsuit against the company for damages. They claimed they invested their life savings into buying and furnishing the home. The owners said that they planned to use it as a family getaway and rent it out to tourists. The trucking company denied any wrongdoing and argued that they followed all the regulations and precautions for ice road travel. They even said that they checked the ice thickness and weather conditions before the journey, and that they had no way of knowing there was a weak spot on the lake. The case is still pending in court, but some curious divers have ventured into Lake Superior to explore the sunken house. They found intact furniture, appliances, dishes, books, and even personal belongings inside. They've also captured stunning photos and videos of what they call the most unique underwater attraction on Lake Superior. It's certainly a sight to see. 5. Real-life SpongeBob and Patrick spotted in Atlantic Ocean. SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star are two of the most popular cartoon characters ever. But did you know that they have real-life counterparts in the ocean? In July 2021, a team of researchers from NOAA's Okeanos Explorer ship found a yellow sea sponge and a pink starfish sitting next to each other on the seafloor. The sponge and starfish look very similar to SpongeBob and Patrick, and their photo immediately went viral on social media. The researchers were exploring the Retriever Seamount, one of 4 underwater mountains in the Northeast Canyons and Seamount's Marine National Monument. They used a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, to collect data and images of the deep-sea ecosystem. The sponge belongs to the genus Hudvigia, while the starfish belongs to the genus Chondrithyes. They're both common species in deep-sea habitats, but they rarely interact with each other. Actually, these starfish are predators that feed on sponges by dissolving them externally with their arms. So why were they sitting so close together? The researchers think it could just be a coincidence or a result of ocean currents. They also noted that sponges can produce chemical defenses to deter predators, so maybe SpongeBob was hiding some tricks up his sleeve. What would you do if you saw a real-life SpongeBob and Patrick? Let us know in the comments, and if you liked the video so far, be sure to subscribe to the channel. 4. Underwater river wrapped in poison. An underwater river happens when a layer of dense water flows under a layer of less dense water, creating what looks like a river under the sea. One of the most incredible examples of this is the Cenote Angelita in Mexico, which contains a distinct underwater river that flows 98 feet below the surface. This river, where salt water meets fresh water, is covered by a thick cloud of hydrogen sulfide. The toxic gas smells like rotten eggs and can kill a person if breathed in. The hydrogen sulfide forms when organic matter decays at the bottom of the cenote. The result is a surreal and eerie landscape that attracts divers from around the world. Another type of underwater river is an underwater sediment river, which is a flow of sand and mud on the seafloor. These rivers can be large and powerful, carrying huge amounts of sediment over long distances. One of the most active undersea sediment rivers is found in the Nazaré Canyon off the coast of Portugal. The river runs down a narrow channel inside the 5-mile-wide canyon before branching off into a fan-shaped delta at its mouth. The Nazaré Canyon River transports more sediment than any other undersea river. These rivers play an important role in shaping the seafloor and influencing marine ecosystems around the world. 3. Shipwreck on top of another shipwreck. The Hudson River is full of history and home to many secrets, but one of them is especially interesting: a shipwreck on top of another shipwreck. The upper vessel is a cabin cruiser, a small motorboat that was popular during the mid-20th century. The lower ship is much older, probably from the 1800s. How did these two boats end up in such a strange position, and what stories do they hold? The exact location of this underwater oddity is kept secret by experienced divers, but some clues can be found in historical records and news reports. The cabin cruiser is likely one of many boats that sank during Hurricane Donna in 1960, which caused widespread damage on the East Coast. The storm brought strong winds and waves that capsized many vessels on the Hudson River. Some of them were never recovered. The older sailing ship may have been part of New York's maritime history, when the city was a bustling port for trade and immigration. It could have been involved in commerce, war, or exploration. One possible candidate is the SS Savannah, which was built in 1818 near Brooklyn and became the first steamship to cross the Atlantic Ocean in 1819. These two ships represent different eras, but they share a common fate. They rest at the bottom of the river, forgotten by most people, but fascinating for those interested. They're like time capsules, preserving a glimpse into New York's past. 2. The underwater gnome garden of Wastwater. Wastwater is a body of water in England's Lake District National Park. It's the deepest lake in the country, reaching a depth of nearly 260 feet. It's known for its stunning scenery, with steep cliffs and surrounding mountains. But Wastwater has another attraction hidden from most visitors, an underwater gnome garden. This mysterious feature consists of several gnomes arranged around a picket fence, some holding fishing rods and others having a tea party. The gnomes are colorful and cheerful, contrasting with the dark and dreary water. The origin of the gnome garden is unclear. Some say it was built by divers as a prank or a tribute to a friend who died. Others say it was inspired by a similar gnome garden on Switzerland's Lake Zurich. The gnomes have been there for many years and have been added to by different divers over time. The gnome garden has become a popular destination for explorers who want to see something unusual and whimsical. But it's also dangerous. The depth of the lake poses serious risks for decompression sickness and hypothermia. Several divers have lost their lives trying to see the gnome garden. In the late 1990s, police divers were instructed to remove the site after 3 divers died, but some gnomes remained or were replaced later on. The gnome garden still exists today, but its exact location is kept secret. It serves as a fascinating example of how humans can create art and humor even in the most unlikely places. 1. The wonders of the ocean. The ocean is full of mysteries as explorers and scientists discover new and strange things each year. Some of these include living creatures that have adapted to survive in extreme conditions like high pressure, low light, and cold temperatures. For example, a blood red jellyfish, which was a previously unknown species, a glass octopus which is transparent and elusive, a shape-shifting whalefish that changes its appearance and sex, a spindly squid with long arms and tentacles, a giant phantom jellyfish, and others. Some of these discoveries are not alive, but are still fascinating. For example, ancient cities that were submerged by rising sea levels, like Thonis Heraklion in Egypt or the Yonaguni Monument in Japan. Human skeletons that may have been victims of accidents, crimes, or natural disasters. Shipwrecks that tell stories of history and tragedy. Meteors that crash into the ocean floor, alien spaceships that look like flying saucers, and underwater icicles. These are just some examples of weird things found in the ocean. There may be many more that we don't know about just yet. The ocean covers over 70% of our planet's surface, but we've only explored about 5% of it. Who knows what else lies beneath the waves? Thanks for watching. Which of these discoveries surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments down below and be sure to subscribe to the channel.